Hello all, I'm Expert Ali and I welcome you to the 2025 NRL Wooden Spoon Race. In this video I'll be going through all the teams who have the possibility of making the spoon, and I'll be going through all the games I think they'll win and lose for the rest of the season. Eventually at the end I will announce the team I believe will be rewarded with the 2025 Wooden Spoon in the NRL. With that said, let's begin. Let's talk about the Tigers. I think the Tigers will finish in a really high position for them, 11th. Big difference from last year where they got the spoon, and right now they are technically still in contention of getting it. They're in around 14th place I believe right now, which is not very good, and obviously 100% can get the spoon. But I think with a positive rest of the season, they'll definitely be finishing really high up. So there'll be a few teams like the Dragons possibly who will be caught in the wooden spoon race just because I wanted to really talk about the Tigers. So sorry Dragons fans, you're now a part of this. Anyway, let's talk about the games for the Tigers. They start this one off with a bye. Yeah, very boring. They had a bye this round. This current round is a bye. The next round after that they do play Manly, where I think they'll lose. Manly will be very motivated to go and make the 8. I don't think they will, but they'll be motivated to try and make the 8. That's why I think the Tigers will lose. But then I think for the rest of the games they'll win, including a win against the Cowboys at home, a shocking win away at the Raiders, which I put in with a green and yellow. So that means it's I think they will win, but also anything can happen. Green just means they will win, red means I think they'll lose, and if it's red and yellow, that means, for me, I believe they'll lose, but they could possibly still win. If the Raiders do somehow lose to the Tigers at home, it'd be a massive shock if the Tigers were able to beat them. I just have a feeling they'll be motivated to, so they don't get that spoon again, and the Raiders, sometimes you can catch them off guard. The Dragons did it to them last week, and you can beat them. The final match day is where they play the Titans, which will be an easy win for them away. I think for a key man over here, I'm going with Terrell May. He's a great player and obviously just a key player for the Tigers, so I wanted to put him there. So Dragons fans, I know, as I said previously, that you are now dragged into this. And unfortunately for you guys, it's really just because the Tigers are in contention about it right now, and I think they'd have a good rest of the season, which would put them in 11th. And for the Dragons, that would end up putting them behind the Tigers, meaning they'd have to be included. Now, currently right now, they are not in contention at all for the spoon and are definitely not going to be getting it. But let's just quickly talk about them anyway. I think they'll finish 12th as it says up there, but then for their games, I think they'll lose to the Sharks at home. Might just be able to beat the Warriors away, but anything can really happen. I think they'll definitely beat the Souths away. I think they will beat Manly at home, but once again, it could be a really close one. And their final game, unlucky enough for them, they play Penrith at home, which I think they're definitely going to be losing. Also, I'd just like to clarify, for all these first row games, a lot of them could definitely already have happened by the time you're watching this, because this is made right now halfway through a round. So, pretty risky by me, but anyway, doesn't matter too much. This man over here is Valentine Holmes, and I put him as the key man for the Dragons. You could put anyone, you could put Gutho, but I just felt like he fit it better, and I feel like he is a key player for them, and he definitely deserves to be there. Obviously, there's so many options though, so I'd like to hear your opinions down below. Now we're going to talk about my Parramatta Eels. I think they'll finish 13th place, but a really positive end of the season. Key man is obviously Mitchell Moses. We'll talk about that in a second. But for the games this week, which will only be in a couple hours, I think, when this comes out, I think they'll beat the Cowboys. I think then the week after that, they'll beat the Rabbitohs away. Then they've got the Roosters at home. Anything could really happen here, but I have a feeling that the Eels will be able to shock the Roosters at home. But yeah, anything can happen. The week after that, they play the Warriors away, which I think is basically a guaranteed loss for us, unfortunately. And then the final week, we play the Knights at home, which I think is probably a guaranteed win. We've seen us play so much better against them before. I think they'll just be very similar to the last time we played earlier this season. But I did say at the start, I'd talk more about the key man, Mitchell Moses. Is there any more to talk about after how many things I've said about him throughout my channel? He's such a key player for the Eels. Everyone knows it. When he's in the team, it makes an immediate impact. A good impact, by the way. We play so much better with him, and I think that will really carry us to a really good rest of the season. Now we're going down to what I actually call really close and way too close of getting the spoon, 14th place. Basically, if you think about this video, clicking on, you probably think I was talking about 14th place and under, not started talking about teams in 13th and 12th and 11th. But anyway, I put the Cowboys in 14th. I think they'll lose to the Eels. As I said, the Eels will win them in the last thing. And then I think they'll be able to beat the Knights at home. They're good at home. They're always good at home, the Cowboys. But really, the Knights could pull an upset. 100% they could, but I don't think they will. Then I think they'll lose away to the Tigers. Once again, anything can happen here. That's why I put it as one of those medium ones. It's the Cowboys, it's a team like that, really anything can happen. But yeah, I think they'll lose. Then the final game for them is against the Broncos at home, which I think is a definite loss for them. And obviously the final week for them is a bye, so yeah, they'll get 2 points there. Key man is definitely Tom Dearden. Well, he's just one of the best players in the league. He's an Origin star. He's such a great player. And yeah, he deserves to be there. He kind of carries sometimes. With that said, on to the next team. Now we're going to talk about the Gold Coast Titans. I think they'll finish in 15th place. Massive improvement from being like 17th place this season. And then currently in 16th. Yeah, I think they'll move one more up. I think this weekend they'll definitely beat the Rabbitohs. Even though the Rabbitohs do have people like Latrell back. But I think they'll win. And I think the week after that, they'll lose away to the Sharks. I think, once again, they might be able to upset the Warriors. We've seen what they've done. They've upset the Warriors not long ago. They should have beat the Panthers last week, but the Panthers cheated. So, okay, so I'll stop talking about that. But anyway, I think they'll be able to beat the Warriors just at home. Then I think for the rest of the season will be poor for them as they'll lose to the Dolphins away and lose to the Tigers at home. Okay. On to 16th place. Well, you now know who I think's coming and getting the wooden spoon. Let's quickly talk about who I think would be just missing out on it. The Knights. You can see a lot of red here. A lot of red. Only last night they lost and they got destroyed by Penrith. Then next week they played the Cowboys, which I think they'll lose. And they got the Broncos, the Sharks and the Eels, which I all think are a definite loss for them. Yeah, sorry guys. It's just kind of how it is. Yeah, they're not really good enough, I think, and I've already said their season's over. Well, the team seasons are over, but these guys, no Ponga, I don't know how long he's out for. I think it might be the rest of the season, all of that. But I did put Dom Young, he's obviously a great player. I think he'll be a key one, but yeah, sorry, looking disappointing. You see all that red over at the Knights, but it's even more red at the Rabbitohs. The Rabbitohs, I think, will be getting the wooden spoon this season. A team not many years ago when they were in a final. They were in a final against Penrith. But yeah, big downfall for them. I think key man will definitely be Latrell. He's back this week, but obviously you can't be too much of a key man when your team's doing so badly. Anyway, I think they'll lose to the Titans away. They'll lose to the Eels at home, lose to the Dragons at home. They'll have a bye, which will be their only 2 points, and they'll have the Roosters away, which they'll lose. You might also be asking, if I said the Knights lose all the rest of their games and the Rabbitohs to lose all the rest, but they have a bye, you might think, oh, the Rabbitohs should go in front. But I used the ladder predictor, and the Knights are still in front because they're higher than teams like the Titans currently right now. So they have a bigger point advantage than against the Rabbitohs. Anyway, with that said, thank you for watching. A bit more of a long one, but I hope you did enjoy it. And that was my wooden spoon predictions. I think the Rabbitohs are getting the spoon this season, so sorry Souths fans, better luck next time. With all that said, watch me get proven wrong as the Rabbitohs go on an undefeated streak for the rest of the season. Yeah, a lot of stuff like that happens to me a lot. But anyway, thank you all. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye.